A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out.
President Donald Trump launched a personal attack on CNN correspondent Kaitlan Collins during an Oval Office news conference Tuesday, criticizing her demeanor and appearance while she attempted to question him about Jeffrey Epstein's sexual assault victims. The confrontation, which unfolded at the Resolute desk, saw Trump interrupting Collins to scold her for not smiling during their exchange. "She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile," Trump said in a sarcastic tone. "I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face." When Collins noted that she was asking about Epstein's victims, Trump cut her off. "You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth." The incident represents the latest example of Trump singling out female journalists for personal criticism and attacks. Last year, he interrupted a Bloomberg news reporter by barking, "Quiet, quiet, piggy." His treatment of women in the press corps has drawn repeated criticism from media advocates and journalism organizations. Collins, CNN's chief White House correspondent, has been a frequent target of Trump's ire despite, or perhaps because of, her extensive coverage of his administration since 2016. In December, Trump attacked her on Truth Social, writing, "Kaitlan Collins of fake news CNN, always stupid and nasty," misspelling both her first and last names. The Tuesday exchange began calmly enough, with Trump answering two of Collins's questions about newly released documents related to the government's investigation of Epstein, the financier and former friend of the president who was charged with sex trafficking before his death. However, when Collins attempted to ask a third question specifically about Epstein's victims, Trump's tone shifted dramatically. "You are so bad," Trump told Collins. "You know you are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you." The president's fixation on Collins's facial expression continued even after journalists were being escorted from the Oval Office. He could be heard telling Senator John Barrasso, a Wyoming Republican, "She never smiles," while pointing toward the press. The remarks sparked immediate backlash on social media, with critics noting the sexist undertones of demanding a female journalist smile while asking about sexual assault victims. Many pointed out that male reporters are rarely, if ever, criticized for their facial expressions during serious questioning. Shortly after the incident, CNN issued a statement defending Collins, calling her an exceptional journalist who reports with real depth and tenacity. Notably, it was the same statement the network has released on previous occasions. Trump has targeted Collins so frequently that CNN keeps its defense ready to deploy at a moment's notice. The prepared nature of CNN's response underscores how routine these attacks have become. Collins has maintained her professional approach despite repeated personal criticism from the president, continuing to ask tough questions on topics ranging from foreign policy to domestic controversies. The Epstein-related documents that prompted Collins's questions represent a sensitive topic for Trump, who had a social relationship with the financier before Epstein's arrest and subsequent death in custody. The release of investigation files has renewed public scrutiny of those connections and raised questions about Trump's knowledge of Epstein's activities. Collins's attempt to ask about Epstein's victims, a question focused on the experiences of women who suffered sexual abuse, makes Trump's demand that she smile particularly jarring to observers. The juxtaposition of discussing serious allegations of sexual assault while being told to appear more cheerful struck many as tone-deaf and emblematic of broader concerns about how the president engages with female journalists. The incident has reignited discussions about press freedom, sexism in political coverage, and the president's relationship with the media. Journalism organizations have long documented Trump's pattern of using gendered language and personal attacks when confronting women reporters, behavior that differs markedly from his exchanges with male journalists asking equally challenging questions. As Trump continues his second term, his combative relationship with the press, and particularly with prominent female correspondents, shows no signs of abating. For Collins and her colleagues, the challenge remains: how to continue asking necessary questions while facing personal attacks from the nation's highest office.